Have you heard people talking about AB5? Maybe you have seen trucking companies discussing it. Maybe you have heard owner-operators worried about it. Or maybe you have heard someone say, AB5 is going to change trucking. Others say, it does not affect me. And many business owners still do not fully understand what AB5 actually means. Before we go further, keep in mind, I am not an attorney, and I am not giving legal advice. This video is for educational purposes only. If you need legal guidance for your specific situation, speak with a qualified attorney. Today, we are going to break down AB5 in a simple way. What is AB5? When did it begin? Where does it apply? What is worker classification? What is the difference between an employee and an independent contractor? What is the ABC test? Why does AB5 matter so much in trucking? Who really benefits from AB5? And what insurance issues should trucking companies, owner-operators, and business owners think about? Because AB5 is not just a trucking topic. It is a worker classification topic. It is a business structure topic. It is a compliance topic. And in many cases, it can become an insurance and risk management topic. Let's get started. But before we go further, make sure you watch this video until the end, because I promise you will learn a lot about this law that was passed in California and how it affects many business owners, trucking companies, owner-operators, and independent contractors. This is not just about compliance. This is about protecting your business, understanding your risks, and knowing what questions to ask before a problem happens. For those of you watching this video for the first time, my name is Lelaine. I worked as a claims adjuster for over 25 years, handling large loss claims for insurance companies. I have also been a licensed insurance agent in different states for more than 10 years. Currently, I am operating my own independent insurance agency operations, helping medium to large-scale business in different states. We create videos with one sole purpose: to guide you in the right direction to protect your business. Just remember, insurance companies are not your enemies. They are your partners in growing your business by mitigating any potential large loss. Each video will give you tips on how to avoid costly mistakes. Let's start with the basic question. When did AB5 begin? AB5 stands for Assembly Bill 5. It is a California law. That means it started in the state of California in the United States. AB5 was signed into law in 2019, and it became effective for many purposes on January 1st, 2020. So when people ask, is AB5 a federal law? The answer is no. AB5 is not a national law across the entire United States. It is a California state law. But even though it is a California law, it became a huge conversation across the trucking industry because California is one of the biggest transportation, shipping, port, logistics, and freight markets in the country. If your trucking business operates in California, contracts with California-based companies, picks up freight in California, delivers freight in California, or works with drivers connected to California operations, AB5 may become part of the conversation. That does not mean every single business is automatically affected the same way, but it does mean trucking companies and owner-operators need to understand the issue, because misunderstanding AB5 can lead to serious problems. Problems with contracts, problems with driver classification, problems with payroll, problems with taxes, problems with workers' compensation, problems with liability, and possibly problems with insurance coverage. Why trucking is at the center of the AB5 debate. So why is trucking discussed so often when people talk about AB5? The answer is simple. Many trucking operations have traditionally relied on independent owner-operators. For decades, owner-operators have been a major part of the industry. Drivers purchase their own trucks, maintain their equipment, operate their businesses, and contract with carriers. This business model has been common across the country. AB5 created uncertainty around how some of these relationships are evaluated. As a result, trucking companies began asking important questions. How should drivers be classified? How should contracts be structured? How should operations be organized? How should insurance be handled? Many carriers began reviewing their business models. Many owner-operators began evaluating their options. And many insurance professionals started receiving questions they had never received before. The trucking industry suddenly found itself dealing with legal, operational, and insurance questions all at the same time. The ABC test simplified. One of the most discussed parts of AB5 is something called the ABC test. Now, don't worry, we're not going to turn this into a legal seminar. Let's keep it simple. The ABC test is used to help determine whether a worker can be classified as an independent contractor. The test examines several factors. Questions such as, how much control does the company have? Is the worker operating independently? Is the worker performing services that are part of the company's usual business? These questions can become extremely important because classification affects everything that follows: taxes, benefits, compliance, insurance, liability, risk management, and unfortunately, many business owners don't think about these issues until a problem appears. That's why understanding AB5 before a problem occurs is often much easier than dealing with the consequences afterward. The insurance side of AB5. Now, let's talk about the part most people overlook: insurance. Many discussions about AB5 focus on legal compliance, but very few people discuss insurance implications. And that's a mistake, because whenever business structures change, insurance exposures often change too. For example, workers' compensation, employers' liability, occupational accident coverage, general liability, commercial auto, umbrella coverage. All of these can become part of the conversation depending on how operations are structured. The biggest mistake many businesses make is assuming their existing policy automatically adjusts to major operational changes. Insurance policies are based on information provided to carriers. When operations change significantly, policies often need review. This is why AB5 is not simply a legal issue. It's also a coverage issue. And coverage issues are often discovered during claims, which is exactly when businesses least want surprises. Why owner-operators are concerned. Many owner-operators value independence. They purchased their trucks, built relationships, developed their customer base, created businesses around flexibility. AB5 has caused many owner-operators to ask, what happens next? Will business relationships change? Will contracts change? Will insurance requirements change? Will operating costs increase? Will opportunities decrease? These are valid concerns, and while every situation is different, one thing remains true. The trucking industry is constantly evolving. Successful owner-operators stay informed. They review contracts, review operations, review insurance, and adapt when necessary. Because trucking has never been an industry that stands still. Why fleet owners should pay attention. Many fleet owners assume AB5 only affects owner-operators. That can be a dangerous assumption. Fleet owners should pay attention because workforce structure directly affects risk. Risk affects insurance. Insurance affects profitability. Profitability affects growth. Even if your operation isn't directly impacted today, industry changes can create ripple effects. Driver availability, contract negotiations, insurance pricing, compliance requirements, business relationships. Everything is connected. The businesses that prepare early usually have more options than the businesses that wait. Common mistakes trucking companies make. Let's discuss some common mistakes. Mistake number 1, ignoring the issue completely. Mistake number 2, assuming someone else will handle it. Mistake number 3, failing to review contracts. Mistake number 4, failing to review insurance coverage. Mistake number 5, waiting until a problem occurs before seeking professional guidance. The trucking industry is already challenging. Adding unnecessary surprises rarely helps. Preparation almost always costs less than reaction. What trucking businesses should do now. So, what should trucking companies and owner-operators do? First, stay informed. Second, review your operations. Third, review contracts. Fourth, review insurance policies. Fifth, speak with qualified professionals when questions arise. The goal is not panic. The goal is preparation. Because regulations change, markets change, insurance changes, and businesses that adapt generally put themselves in stronger positions. If there's one thing I want you to remember from today's video, it's this. A B5 is not just a trucking topic. It's a business topic. It's a risk management topic. And it's an insurance topic. The businesses that understand these changes early often make better decisions than those that ignore them. Preparation doesn't eliminate risk, but it can reduce surprises. And in business, surprises are often expensive. Before we finish, I want to hear from you. Are you an owner-operator, a fleet owner, a trucking company, a contractor, or a business owner trying to understand AB5? Comment AB5 below and tell us how you think this law affects your industry. And if you want us to send you more information about AB5, worker classification, trucking insurance concerns, and what questions you should be asking, comment your email address below or send it to us directly. Our team can send you more educational information about AB5 and help you understand what areas of your insurance and business structure may need a review. And by the way, there is an insurance policy that may help protect businesses from certain employment-related claims. It is called Employment Practices Liability Insurance, or EPLI. EPLI can help with certain claims involving workplace allegations, employee disputes, wrongful termination, discrimination, harassment, and other employment-related issues, depending on the policy terms, conditions, and exclusions. It does not replace legal compliance, and it does not automatically cover every AB5-related situation, but it is an important coverage many business owners should understand. Make sure you watch our next video about EPLI, because we will explain what it is, how it works, and why many business owners do not realize they may need it until a lawsuit happens. And if you want this type of coverage, contact our office so we can help you review your options and see what may fit your business. If you are involved in trucking and have not reviewed your insurance coverage recently, now is the time to start asking questions, because understanding your risks today is much better than discovering them during a claim tomorrow. If you found this video helpful, like this video, subscribe to Insurance Shark, and share it with someone in trucking or business who needs to understand AB5. Thanks for watching Insurance Shark. We will see you in the next video.